Chris Cuomo here. Thank you for being with News Nation. Moments like this matter. Charlie Kirk murdered at a university in Utah, doing what he thought was part of the solution. President Trump first announced his death and ordered flags half-staff. FBI Director Kash Patel just announced that they have a suspect in custody. There's some question about whether or not it's a person of interest or a suspect. We're going to know who did this. We're going to know why. And I don't even know that that part really matters, and we'll talk about that. But I knew Charlie Kirk. I saw sides of him that were not his public persona. You know him as a digital big shot who helped organize young voters for President Trump and really helped get him elected, which made him a hero to some and a devil to others. But Turning Point USA made a difference. And then Charlie did something really special. He started going around the country telling students to prove him wrong. And he made debate and disagreeing without being disagreeable cool again.
Black applicants to jobs are 50% less likely to get jobs if they have a black-sounding name.
That's not even close to being true. That's not even close to being true.
That is a literal.
In fact, it's the opposite.
I'm not going to argue your lived experience. I'm not going to know.
See, now you have to listen to him under your rules because a black person is going to say you're wrong.
I totally sympathize. That's not true. It's never the only choice to commit a crime, and we should not put up with it. And so it is an insult to other immigrants from Vietnam and Laos and Pakistan that have to wait decades in line to morally equivalate people that come in and just break in. Oh, I have an unstable country. Like half of the world's countries are unstable.
You know, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe he's gone. I don't even know what to do with it. That he was murdered at one of the events that he thought was part of the solution, and I agreed with him. I didn't agree with his politics for a lot of the positions, but so what? Killed for his ideas? For his feelings about trans or Trump or Israel? Was the shooter a lefty or crazy or both? Well, no. There is no advantage in this, and I know some want there to be. I know some want this to be proof of something that they think is helpful to their cause. But to me, all I see is a kid. And to me, for all Charlie achieved, personally and professionally, he was only 31 years old. He and his beautiful wife, they were just starting a family. They have 2 little babies. And that's all I think. That's all I see, is that I can't believe he's gone for this. And yet, everything in my head tells my heart, wake up. Wake up. This is who we are. This is where we are. And going to this group tonight, all the security concerns, my representatives worried about what kind of security I'm going to have and where are the threats and should we take all these threats we've been getting more seriously. The president said the right thing, did the right thing with the flag, in my opinion. Democratic lawmakers, Jews, kids, our president, everybody's getting shot at. This is what we're doing. This is how we express ourselves. I know everyone is saying the right things. We need to come together. I don't know that we're not accelerating in the opposite direction. I hear people on the right saying, avenge him, and some on the left saying, this is what you get. We're not battling over ideas anymore. We're cheap and we're ugly. We've reduced conflict to enemies and animus. I think there's a better chance that we see more of this than less of it. And God, I hope I'm wrong. Charlie and I agreed on what matters most. And I'm not talking about on the personal level. Charlie was about his faith in his family. And for a young man, I was really impressed by it. Again, I did not agree with most of his political positions, but it didn't make me see him as an enemy. He was a sweet, tall, sensitive, kind person. That is how I experienced him. And that dividing for advantage, going all in on who and what is worse, it's killing our society. And that's what brought us together. And we went on Patrick Bet-David's podcast. And that's why Patrick and I have made an alliance, is to show that you do not have to agree to get along. What matters is how you disagree. Did you see this?
I mean, don't fault Charlie for campaigning and believing in Trump. I don't. I think it's very healthy for the democracy.
I don't really care what Chris Cuomo's politics are. I think that it takes someone who loves truth to go to the DNC and remind the viewers that all those boxes up there are bought by corporate titans. I thought that was really good. And look, I think that I don't know Chris very well, but it seems as if Chris has a knack to actually do what journalists used to do, increasingly so.
Now, did Charlie get heat after that? Yeah, we joked about it. You were off today, Charlie. You know, like it was a game, like he didn't have his fastball. And we texted and we spoke after it. We wanted to do more. And again, Charlie was what you saw in that. And I think it was part of the solution in our politics. It doesn't matter. Look, I thought his feelings about how his faith manifests in different political policies and culture things, I can't even believe I'm saying it right now because it's like, so what? So what? That he thought whatever he did that you don't like, so what? And then I turned to what Charlie may have left us that I didn't value until now. Charlie had millions, okay? Not thousands, not tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, millions of young followers online, okay? Motivated. And he got them involved in something that young people rightly suspect and usually hate, politics. I hope the young people who saw Charlie as a hero or as a zero, but you knew he was relevant, he was making you think and come up with arguments to defend or defeat his propositions. Please see what's happening around you. Please see what was lost in this. This young man, the head of a young family, so much in front of him. This is not who we are. I shouldn't have my kids coming to me about this, afraid that I don't wear a bulletproof vest, afraid that what I do is dangerous. Is that what this murder means? That we have to start being careful about what we say? Judging by the responses, I don't know. The comments from leaders seem to me at best perfunctory. Vile, political violence, no place. I mean, that's what you say because that's what you're supposed to say, right? That's not what you say when you're really trying to persuade something of somebody. And I'm not blaming these guys. There's too much blame to go around. And, you know, I see Musk putting out stupid things and the idea of avenging this and the party that left him. I mean, look, I know he's autistic, okay? I know a lot of autistic people. I don't know that it's an excuse for every stupid thing that the guy says. You know, I don't know what motivates this. Neither did Charlie, by the way. All I know is this is who we are right now. And if we want to be something different, if we want to be a different way, it's got to be with each of us. It's got to be with each of you. Get out of being a part of any group, any them, and just act on what you think is right. And you know that what happened here is so wrong. You know, we've seen killers on both sides. We've seen so much of it. I bet you can't remember the last three. Think about that. The last three political murders. In June, we had this right-wing nut job dressed as a cop, shot and critically injured a Democratic Minnesota state senator, Hoffman and his wife. He then went on to fatally shoot the top Democrat Minnesota lawmaker in the House, Representative Melissa Hortman. Did you remember that? Her and her husband? Remember Pelosi's husband getting bashed? Police found a hit list with that Minnesota guy. The Israeli embassy. Do you remember that one? The staffers? The pro-Palestinian Latino guy who wound up just waiting for the cops to come? Pacing the Jewish museum? Killing 2 people who he thought were Jews? Do you even remember that? Can you remember that? We forget so fast. Why? 2 reasons. It's become very familiar, but also because we are not committed to anything better except advantage. Do you remember what happened to Governor Josh Shapiro? Remember that? A left-wing, anti-Israel lunatic. So who's that one? You know, what side wins there? Well, he attacked a Democrat, so it's bad for the right. Oh, but this guy's anti-Israel, and that's a far left thing, so it's good for the right. Is that who we are? Is that where we are? So I don't know what to say to you about the virtue that we must reclaim. All I know is that I hope we don't forget. And we have 9/11 tomorrow, and boy, have we forgotten. We have forgotten who can be our enemy, what is our enemy, and what it takes for us to come together and survive. But I don't think Charlie will be forgotten. I'll end on this. I don't think Charlie Kirk is going to be forgotten anytime soon, and I really hope people don't let him and what he was about at his best be forgotten. All I know is I am so sad about what happened. It is such a shame. It is such a waste. It makes nothing and no one better. And all I know is that I get to decide what to think about it and what to do after it. And I am going to keep showing up. I don't care about the threats because I believe that the value here is in using the platform as long as I have it to try to get us to a better place. It is not about agreeing or disagreeing. It is about how we disagree and how we prosecute the case for what we want America to be. And we are not getting it done. If this fight is not over ideas, it is lost before it begins. I am so sorry for the Kirk family. If there is anything that we can do as you guys go forward and decide how you want Charlie remembered, just let us know. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.